I did a winter sleep system gear list, but I thought that I would go over with you what I carry in my pack for a winter hike. So I'm going to turn this around and then we'll get started. So here is my Osprey Aura 65 liter backpack that I carry. It's so versatile and it carries so well, especially if you like to stay organized. It is a little heavier, but I like the way it fits me and I like the way it carries everything. I went over that a little bit in the other video, but these straps right here, those straps hold onto the sleeping pad that I keep on the bottom of my tent. I do carry 2 sleeping bags, so that's my bottom layer, and it goes on the outside. And then I also have my puffy. I wanted to show you that, and I also carry camp shoes that are on the outside of my pack. Other than that, this is just kind of what I put on the inside. So I put my tent and poles, well actually my tent goes in the sleeping bag compartment of my Osprey, and then I put the tent poles on the outside. These are my trekking poles. I use Lucky, and they are the Lady or Legacy Lady. I really love these trekking poles. I can't tell you how many miles, probably at least 300 to 400 miles I have on them, and the tips are still good. And then I always carry a camp chair. It is a luxury, but I carry the Helinox, I think that's right, Chair Zero. It is pricey, but I am going to the Smokies about once a month and I use it every time. So for me, it was well worth the cost. There is my Enlightened Equipment Enigma 20 degree. Here's my other sleeping pad. This is the Climate Insulated V-Static. And in there at the very end, you'll see my little pillow that I take with me. This is the bag liner. Sea to Summit, it's a 15 degree reactor, I think is what it's called. So I mentioned in the other one, these booties. These are the Enlightened Equipment Torrid booties. I think the retail is like $80, which is stupid, but I will say they pack down very light and very small. So if you're concerned with shedding some weight, but you can afford it, or a Christmas gift or something like that, they are well worth it. They're very, very warm. And then I thought I'd go over, of course, I carry an extra pair of socks and underwear, sometimes 2 hiking socks and underwear, but I also sometimes carry these seal skins. It's a pretty long sock, and it's supposed to be a waterproof sock. And I will tell you that in the winter backpacking that I did in the Smokies this year, I was hiking in snow, snowpack, snowfall. My shoes were wet the entire time. My feet were never wet. They always stayed warm, and these not too warm, but they did stay dry as well. And then depending on the weather and or I should say the rain, the precipitation, and the temperature, I will wear or sometimes I take all 3 sets of these gloves. This is like a snow glove, and it does work for the most part. I wore those last year. This is just if it's going to be a really cold day and your hands just don't warm up. And then this is kind of a hybrid. It stays warm, but you don't want to wear them in weather, in precipitation, and these are sealskin also, but I did notice that these kind of got a little wet, and I don't know if it was because they got too hot for my hand or if they just the precipitation came through. And then I'm not a big hat person. I do tend to get kind of warm and it all goes out my head, and I like that. So I use these little earmuffs. I do not know where I've got these. I've probably had these a better part of 15 years, but they do the job in keeping my ears warm. I wear the Ultra Lone Peaks. I started out in oboes and I went to these. They have always done me justice. I love them. So I'll wear those in the winter as well as the summer. This is my Enlightened Equipment. I don't remember the name of their brand of their rain jacket and pants, but this is the jacket. I have the pants as well. Yes, the pants are in purple, and yes, I look like Barney, but the reason I got the Enlightened Equipment is because you could customize the leg length, and I am not very tall. I'm about 5'4", 5'5", and at that I've got a longer body and short legs, and I could not find a rain pant that fit and I didn't drag along and it didn't pull down. So I could actually choose the exact size that I needed. And this purple color I got a little bit better of a deal on. So, you know, I was trying to save money where I can. So Barney it is. At night, this is my long sleeve wool shirt. These are my pants. That's my hoodie. I don't sleep in the hoodie, and just depending on how warm, you know, I do sleep in these typically, but sometimes I don't. It just kind of depends. And everybody is different. So you may find that this is too warm for you, or you may find that you need to layer up, either way. So my cook system tends to be this smaller can of fuel. This is perfect for, in fact, it's too much for a 2 to 3, 3 to 4 day backpacking trip, but it's the smallest size that I can get. And then I've got a stove, and in here I've got, or this is my cook pot, which I only boil water in. I typically make it as easy as possible. My stove is in there. I think it's like a pocket rocket or something like that. You can find them anywhere. And then my food bag is just your typical Dyneema food bag. In here, this is my cozy that warms up my noodles or my backpacking meal or whatever I have. And I have, a couple things in here. I have a collapsible cup that I drink my coffee out of, and this is, of course, my spork. This is like a little coffee strainer, if you will, and I actually take coffee filters and coffee, and I will pour it in. And I take the filter because that way I don't have to wash this. It just is easier cleanup, and I can always pack out that filter. It's no problem. So that's that. And then I've got my poop bag. I've got my water bag, and there's my neck knife. I do carry a neck knife. And my water system is a Sawyer Squeeze, the regular size, and a CNOC bag, 2 liter. That's usually plenty for me. I carry a Garmin on the outside of my pack. I've never had to use the SOS on it, but I advise anyone hiking solo especially, and especially a woman, to have some kind of in-reach. This is the mini. There's a bigger one where it's easier to send text messages to loved ones, but this is the smallest that I could find, and of course to keep me as lightweight as possible. This is my headlamp. It's a Black Diamond Spot 350 maybe. It's a little heavy and bulky. This is actually something I'm researching for Christmas. I kind of want to get more of a rechargeable, lighter weight one. If anyone has any suggestions about what kind to go to, rechargeable and lightweight, drop a comment down below, because I will be giving that to my family. Because I carry so much, I also carry a Garmin watch. I think I have the Instinct Solar. I really like that. That's how I track my mileage and elevation and everything. And that, plus this camera, plus my phone, everything needs to be charged. So this is the 20,000 milliamp, I believe, Anchor battery pack. I don't always need this. I do have a smaller one, but typically this is just easy to use. I just put it is heavier, but that's weight I'll take. And then this is just a small little saw. I don't know what you call it. It's just a foldable saw, because I do like to have campfires, especially in the winter or the cooler months, and it's really super easy to pack. It is a little bit of a weight. All of this typically runs me, plus food, I can be anywhere from 30 to 34 pounds, just kind of depending on if I have to take it all or not. And that does sound like a lot, and it certainly is not ultralight, but that is why I decided to cut weight where I could and where I could afford it, like with the Booties and things like that. So anyway, here is my winter gear setup.